Somehow along the way, I don't remember exactly what happened or why, but I sort of stumbled across this way to play in a way that simulates finger picking, or sort of presents this idea that I have this great finger picking ability, which I don't at all. But I was able to do it with a technique that I had to name at some point, because when I was teaching, I didn't know how to write it down in tablature. There wasn't any sort of tab notation for it, so I called them hammer-ons from nowhere. And that basically just means that you're hammering onto a string that wasn't previously fretted. And not that I'm the only guy that does that, but I do it in a way that's a little bit different. And one of the most basic examples, and I actually in the song that you just heard, I use it a little bit, and I'll demonstrate it in a second. But in the most simplistic form, basically what's happening is that I'll find a chord shape that's basic. If I took a basic chord shape like A major, and basically played that with the exception of the lowest note, which is in this case is on the D string, and I'll play an up pick on, like in this case, the B string. Sometimes I use my second finger, and then a downstroke on, in this case, on the G string. And then the third note is basically just a hammer-on. So it's pretty easy once you get comfortable. It seems a little disconnected at first because it's kind of weird to play a note without picking it, but if you can get comfortable with it, it's a kind of cool. So in the song that you just heard, I was playing this sequence in slow motion. It's really just. So you can see how I'm just outlining chords and really not doing a whole lot of finger picking. It just kind of sounds a lot more complicated. This pickup that I've been using, this is the new guitar company that I've been working with, Laguna, and Steve Blucher and I spent a lot of time kind of developing this pickup. It's got a lot of output, and it doesn't really sound like a typical high output pickup. Generally, typically with a high output pickup, you really smash the front end of the amp, and you kind of lose so much character, and you get this kind of overly compressed, kind of sizzly tone that you really can't get rid of regardless what you do. And somehow they were able to give me the playability of a high output, because really for me the only cool thing about a high output pickup is that it feels good. But usually I like medium output pickups, or sometimes low output pickups. But this one is high output, so it feels great, and somehow it sounds really nice and open and round. And since then we've actually done one more version where it's a little less mid-range. It's got a little bit more of an even thing. This is very mid-range heavy, which I like, but the other one is maybe a little more balanced sounding. So currently this is what's called the GH5. This is a really cool pickup. This is my favorite pickup so far, and then the next one I guess would be the GH6, which is the one that we just did. But that's what I'm using here. This is the Breed in the neck position, which sounds really cool. It's a real warm. Jumpstart, which again involves a two-handed technique that I've just kind of gotten real accustomed to doing a lot. basically the idea of sort of simulating super fast linear lines, but with no pick attack whatsoever. So the hairband comes in handy here. But it's really just a lot of the chorus involves a technique that's like. So you get like you can play up and down scales real fast and 3-note per string stuff. The chorus in the song, I spent weeks on trying to come up with a melody line that was interesting, because I really liked the verse, but I couldn't get the chorus. I couldn't get anything with the chorus that I felt sort of matched it. So I ended up having a pretty simple chorus line, but it's got this technique in there that kind of gives it some spice. So.